Circle of Interest with another great project for the day. What we're going to be doing today is explosions. And what that is going to involve, it's going to be two sprites. There's going to be a target sprite and a particle sprite. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on the target, and every time we click on the target, we're going to create an explosion. That's going to be a lot of fun. So first thing we're going to do is I want to show you how it works. So we're going to click the green flag, and as we notice, our target moves around the screen randomly. And when we click on the target, we get it to explode, and then it respawns. So we do it again, goes away, we do it again, and as you see, every time it sort of respawns in a different part of the screen. So let's go inside and see how to build this thing. So first, what we want to do is we want to clear out this this code. So we're going to get rid of that, we're going to get rid of that, we're going to get rid of that. We're going to do the same thing on our target, which is actually where we're going to start coding. So this is going to be an interesting project because what we're going to learn about is how do you broadcast events, how do you send one message to one part of the game so that another part can listen and understand. And so it's going to be a really fun sort of interactive thing that we're going to do here today. So like I said, two sprites. We're going to start off with our target, then we're going to move on to our particle, and by the end we're going to recreate what you just saw there. So in our target, the first thing that we want to do is we're going to go into control, and we're going to get our, actually we're going to go into events, and we're going to get ourselves a when green flag clicked. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go into control and get ourselves a forever block. And then inside that forever block, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we show this target. In addition to that, what we want to do is, remember in the lead-in, what we saw is the target moves around the screen. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into motion, and we're going to get a set X2 and a set Y2. So right now, when you first pull it out, what it's going to do is it sort of anchors those coordinates on where the thing already is. We don't want it to be anchored on where it already is. We want it to be able to move randomly around the screen. So in that, we're going to get a pick random, and we're going to swap that out for the existing coordinate points. And so for the X, we're going to change it from negative 200 to 200, and the Y, we're going to go negative 150 to 150. That should allow us to safely remain on the screen as that target moves around. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add a wait block, and we're going to say that we're going to wait for 2 seconds before it sort of moves and does its next movement. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go into events again, and we're going to say when this sprite clicked. And what this is going to replicate is what happens when we click on that mouse, because we want to activate the explosion. And so remember, we want to send a message. So the thing that we're going to do is we're going to grab a block that says broadcast, and we're going to create a new message that says hit. And we're going to put that message right there that says broadcast hit. That's going to let us know that we've been hit by the mouse click, and that's going to activate the next thing. So we're going to say broadcast hit. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to a looks block, and we're going to hide that. So when the target gets hit, we want to immediately hide it, and then we're going to create a little sound. We're going to look for a sound of a pop, right? So when it gets hit, we're going to know it's going to say start sound pop. So for the target, we have a couple different blocks of code. We've got when green flag clicked, it's going to move around the screen, and then when we click on it, it's going to broadcast a message, it's going to hide, and it's going to create that sound. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move over to the particle block. When we're within the particle block, what we're going to do is we're going to go to events, and we're going to grab ourselves a when green flag clicked. The next thing that we want to do is we want to get ourselves a repeat block, and that repeat is going to repeat 10 times. And what we want to do is we want to create a clone of ourselves. So we're going to go to control, and we're going to put in a create clone of myself. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do a couple things. We're going to say that in events, we're going to do when I receive, and we're going to do a new message, and we're going to type in hit. So when we say we're going to do a new message, we're going to say hit, and we're going to pop that over into the editor. So we change that to when I receive hit. What we want to do is say what's going to happen to that. So what we're going to do is we're going to look in motion, and we're going to find ourselves a set X2, and we're going to find ourselves a set Y2. And what we want to do is we want to set that to where the actual mouse position is. And this is going to be in sensing. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for the mouse pointer in sensing, and we're going to grab a mouse X, replace that coordinate, and we're going to get another mouse Y and replace that coordinate. That's going to let us know exactly on the screen where we're at. And so once that happens, what we want to do is we want to get a show block. So once we get that show block, the next thing that we want to do is we're going to do another event, and we're going to type in the message that we're going to say we want to be able to explode. So what we're going to do is we're going to broadcast a new message that says explode. And so what we do is we're going to broadcast that. And once we do that, we have that block of code done. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to say, well, what happens when I receive that? So we're going to put that over here in our editor. We're going to say, what happens when I receive that explode message? The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to say we want it to point in direction. So that's going to be within our motion block. So we get a point in direction. And then what we're going to do is we don't want it to point in direction always 90 degrees. We want to have a little bit of variability. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into operators. We're going to grab ourselves a pick random. We're going to replace that number with a pick random, and we're going to have it go to between 0 and 360. The next thing that we want to do is we want to get a repeat block, and we're going to have this repeat block repeat 15 times. Once we have that repeat block repeat 15 times, what we're going to do is we're going to say we want it to move. So we're going to get a move block and put it right inside there. We're going to have it move 6 steps so that it sort of like expands outward. And then once that is completed, what we want to do is we want to hide the whole thing. So we're going to put a hide block in here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to test it out and see if it works. So we're going to click on the green flag, and we're going to click on it, and we see that it goes away. We click it again, it goes away, and you see that it sort of respawns every time. So let's get the big screen. You see that it's moving around. It's moving every 2 seconds. We click on that. We click on it again, and it explodes. So this is another great project that really teaches us about that computational thinking that we want to get you all to understand. It lets us to understand how we broadcast different events and how we can have one sprite listen and the other sprite respond to a broadcasted message. This is a great way to communicate within a video game about what actions you want to take. So hope you all enjoyed it. If you like our videos, we hope that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us a like, leave us a comment, let us know how we're doing. We appreciate you all. Thank you so much.